Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Derek Eklum over here at Foundation Software, and I appreciate you spending some time here just learning a little bit more about our HQ suite here today. And as you can kind of see on the screen, we are going to talk about efficiently organizing and storing your documents here in our HQ suite. And yeah, what these are, I do these fairly regularly. You probably have attended one of these in the past before, but these are client sales educational webinars. So what I'll do is kind of go through a short presentation, follow that up with a short Q&A session. And if you are interested in finding out more information, you can always reach out to me. I'd be happy to help. One thing I will say is these aren't designed to be support or training videos. We have plenty of those, but this is over on the sales side. So if you do already have our HQ suite and you're interested in kind of training on that, yeah, we do have a whole department. We've got webinars. Every month we do those, but yeah, this is more just kind of an overview just to kind of showcase what this is all about. So with that being said, I'll just jump right into it. Pull up the main screen here. So for those of you out there that are brand new to this, have never heard anything about our HQ suite, this is a web-based project management platform. That's really the easiest way to put it. Foundation is accounting and job costing. HQ is project management. And the reason that this is web-based is basically project managers are not typically in the office all the time. So we had to make this into a web-based system so that you can use this on tablets, still use it on computers. You could even use it on smartphones, but it's mobile. It's really anywhere you need to go. You can create and access different job documents or different job information. So that's kind of the main idea, big picture idea behind this. I guess kind of a little bit more specifically, the HQ suite, as we call it here, is broken into three different products. There's the main part, which is called ProjectHQ, which I believe was the title of the webinar, but that is document management. That's where you get into creating documents, emailing them out, tracking correspondence back and forth, saving attachments and drawings is all part of it as well. So that's ProjectHQ, and then there's a Executive HQ, it's called, which is a reporting part. So if you wanted your project managers to be able to run job cost reports out in the field, which most companies do, that's what would handle that part of it. And then a third part is called Crew HQ. It's a scheduling piece. So again, if you're, for your project management, your operations team, in order to schedule out resources, letting employees know where they're going, that's more along the lines of what Crew HQ gets into. So three different parts: Project HQ, Crew HQ, and Executive HQ. And we are pretty flexible, as far as do I need, if you need all three, great. If you only want one, that's fine. Yeah, that's the whole HQ suite here at Foundation. Now the home page, which is what you've been looking at here for a couple minutes while I've been talking, this is more of an overview. So as a project manager, you'll be able to see your most recent jobs, overdue, upcoming, or recent documents. I can kind of toggle between those. Different tasks for your different projects. You can always narrow it down by project here. We have an item down here called action items, or a section called action items. These would be more internal assignments, regarding different parts of a project. Not so much on the schedule side, but maybe if you had to follow up on a certain type of document, you can tag certain reminders to this. So that's what the action items is all about. And then weather conditions, just based on, it's just informational, but that's based on your current location. We're just south of Cleveland, Ohio, here in northeast Ohio. But yeah, more of an overview. And from a security standpoint, you can always limit based on the job level. You can also base on the product level too. So if somebody, for example, shouldn't be able to see Executive HQ for reporting, you can always limit at that level and then at the job level too. But yeah, more of a home page here, and everything's interactive. I can select jobs from here. I can click on a document. I can jump into the schedule. So it's not like the add modify mode of Foundation. It's much more intuitive, more freer flowing, which kind of plays right into the hands of what project managers are needing, at this current point in time. But yeah, this is kind of an overview homepage. Now the main part is projects here. So kind of hop into this here. I can probably cover most of what we need to talk about here today right from this one section. But these would be all of your jobs, active jobs. You can see right here at the top. It can also show inactive jobs, and these all pull from Foundation. Of course, what good would this product be if it didn't communicate with your Foundation database? So yeah, this would connect to your Foundation database, pull all of the maintenance records. So it would populate things like jobs, vendors, employees, customers. If you get into equipment or inventory items, they're all going to pull into here. Cost codes and cost classes, because they're used all throughout. But yeah, it's not like this is a standalone system. This is something that will pull your data from your Foundation database, and then there are some items that'll go back the other direction. I'll kind of key in on those, kind of walking through the different features here. But yeah, these would be all of your active jobs. And then the idea from here is you can select one of those active jobs, and then it takes you to an overview page for just that project. You can also jump around different jobs there. But here is where you get into different entries, different types of documents and forms that you can create. And from a design standpoint, you have really full control of the templates as far as what they look like, what shows, what doesn't show. You can add custom fields. You can pull in PDF and Word and Excel documents and just merge in where the fields need to go. So compared to what you might have experienced in the past on the Foundation side, it kind of goes hand in hand with the rest of the entire platform, but it's much easier to use, intuitive, more capable. So that not just templates, I guess I was kind of mentioning there, just designing custom daily logs or templates, but yeah, it just kind of goes with everything here in the HQ suite. But yeah, this is where you can always create different daily log entries, labor, manpower, material, notes, photos, and attachments. There's a schedule overview. What tasks do you have out there for the job? Recent email. Of course, any project management system worth anything is going to allow you to email out. So that's you'll definitely be able to do that here. And for email, most companies are going to tie to their Outlook or Gmail or whatever they're using for email. And that option would be the mail app here. The other option where you see ProjectHQ, that's less popular. That's the less popular option, I guess, overall. But what that would be is you're basically ignoring your Outlook folder and you just wanted to create an email, and it would be, for example, it would be like Derek@HQ.com, and that would be my email address while I just live here. But yeah, most companies use their actual email address, and it would, send emails right from here, save a copy, all of that would happen. But yeah, these would be most recent. Documents, action items, weather conditions based on the job's location. So kind of similar to the main overview page, kind of the starting page we were on, but now it's kind of more, centralized around this particular project, this particular job. And then down the left-hand side, if I expand everything there, this is where you get into all the different types of forms and documents you can create. And from a security standpoint, I mentioned a little bit from a security point of view where you can limit what jobs people can see. When you get into this part of the system, this is where you can always limit what types of documents they can access. So if they shouldn't be able to create AI billings, for example, you can hide that, or anything else on the list there. So yeah, this is the overview dashboard. Project details, which again would pull all from your Foundation database. Schedule, that gets into CrewHQ. I'll show you that in just a second. Just going to kind of focus on the features of ProjectHQ first here, kind of the big part of it. But team, this would just be a list of all of your different contacts that are involved with you on this project. You can always assign out different project roles. You'll notice there's a keyword search up here. That's really found all throughout the platform, not just here. But then work management, this is where you get into things like action items, which again are more internal assignments, notifications. You'll notice if I hover over those, there's a duplicate button there. So you'll find that all throughout here as well. So there is an easy way to copy over documents to just make the overall process more efficient. Because usually with project management, you're doing the same types of things, on different types of jobs, that kind of thing. But yeah, action items, and then AI worksheets. These would be billings. So this would be one of the records that you can create here in ProjectHQ that would actually push back into Foundation. So as a project management team or project manager, or I guess whoever you want to give this access to would probably be a better way to state it. They can create everything, schedule values. They can create the applications. They can print these out, email them. You can create your own custom templates even for these too. But yeah, these would be one of the records that can push or sync back into Foundation. And for all of the records that go back that way from HQ into Foundation, none of them are just going to automatically post. So there's always a process that accounting would do where they run a list, can review it, could technically make changes before they actually save it and post it. So from the accounting side, don't worry. That's always a big question whenever I get on the phone with somebody to talk about this. So it allows them to create this from the field, but then they can sync it. But there's always a kind of a gatekeeper person that's usually on the accounting side that would review and okay this before it would push into Foundation. So, but those are AIA worksheets, touch base, but yeah, daily logs, documents. So I always call this section non-accounting related job documents. So you can see here there's a section with RFIs and submittals. We call these standard documents. There's also a section next to that called user-defined documents, which really could be anything. These are just examples of documents that I've created the last few years, talking with people on the phone. The whole HQ Suite, it's been out for close to 4 years now, so this is not a brand new product. I know a lot of you, this might be the first time taking a look at it, but we've been working on this internally now for close to 9 years. It's been released for close to 4 years. Yeah, January 1st, it'll be 4 years going back. But yeah, user-defined documents, this is where you can create basically anything else that you need to create, track, manage, what have you on the project management side. And in all documents, like if I go into an RFI here, there's going to be a screen that looks like this, number one, where I guess you can jump around to different types of documents, but you can toggle by status right there. There's a keyword search, like I mentioned back on the contacts screen. Up in the top corner is where you can either create a new one or run a list or a log, so it's easy to run reports on the fly. And then for the documents themselves, if I open one up, you have full authority over what shows and what fields and templates and custom fields, requirements that need to be filled out. But yeah, this whole details page, it comes with a standard design, which if you would just want to use that and just attach a logo on the custom template, that's fine. But you could completely rework it, set up different fields if you want to. But all documents are going to have details. They're going to have a correspondence section where you're manually adding in, different, phone conversations or discussions or whatnot. They're all going to have an attachments screen here. So the way attachments work here in HQ is, I guess, number one, it's unlimited. Everything's backed up to the HQ cloud, but it can be any type of file. Like that's a Word document. I got a PDF. I got a JPEG. I've got Excel. So it's across the board. You can save any type of a document. And then for email, any document, of course, you can email out. This is where you can keep track of anything that's been sent or received. And again, keyword searches are all throughout there as well. So that's going to be consistent, again, across the board, not just this section either. You can kind of look at AIAs, punch lists down below, even further down in this cost management section. But yeah, you can create punch lists. And then cost management, there's a section for budget. So this would pull the detailed budget information right from your Foundation database, all the same cost codes, cost classes, dollars, hours, everything else. What makes this section popular is the change order column and the committed cost column. So change orders, probably the number one feature that companies are looking for when I talk with them on the HQ Suite. Most companies are looking for a easier way to manage change orders, getting that information from the field into the office so that everything's accounted for and can be billed out so you can get paid. But yeah, change order management, there's a whole section here for that where you can create a request for change and then convert that request for change into an actual change order that you would then push into Foundation as well, just like that, the AIA worksheet up above there. And it's all the coding. Like if I go into a request for change, you have the same details, correspondence, attachments, and mailbox, but here you're going to have a scope of work where you're filling out what would potentially show to the customer, and then you're breaking out, hey, how does that affect me on the back end? But yeah, you're creating this, emailing this out, and then when you do hear back that it's marked as approved, it allows you to convert or roll a request for change into an actual change order. Even if it means rolling 2 or 3 requests into a single change order, you can always do that too. But then, yeah, once it's an actual change order, that'll then let you push that into Foundation. And there's going to be probably, I would imagine, times where you might not have a request, and then in a formal request process that turns into an actual change. There might just be a time where you're just going to come over to create a change order. Or what happens a lot of times, I know a lot of our customers will create what are called internal or estimate change orders, which are really just kind of like they sound. It's really just a way to move dollar amounts from one code to the next. I know a lot of companies will have a variance line item or a contingency line item they can pull dollars amounts to kind of adjust the dollars. But that way, you're always going to have your original budget that pulls out of Foundation, and then here through HQ, you can manage any of the moving parts. Any sort of direction there. But yeah, change orders is a big one. And then when it comes to committed costs, these would be your purchase orders, your subcontracts. Yeah, you can create these here, code everything out. These would also push back into Foundation. If you have our inventory module, you're pulling from actual inventory items, entering in quantities. But yeah, it's all coding everything out. Same kind of idea with subcontracts, but you're not going to get involved with inventory items. But yeah, you can put in your line items, break in, or fill out how does that affect the budget as far as my cost codes and cost classes. If there's change orders to those, that would be there as well. So those are kind of all the different documents you can create here in ProjectHQ. And then the bottom section, collaboration, there's 2 sections here, one for files, one for mailbox. Yeah, the mailbox would just be all of the emails that have been sent or saved here across the board. You can always send an email right from here too. But yeah, again, keyword searches, you can toggle by document type. And then above there, you have files. So this is where all of your saved and stored documents would be found. And there's different folders. You can create subfolders. Like I can go into this one, and then I can kind of jump into like an RFI, and then you can kind of see everything that's out there. Yeah, unlimited storage. All different types of files. You can create your own storage hierarchy as far as the folders go. And then one of the big additions that we've recently made is the ability for annotations. You can kind of see right there it says new. This also kind of shows you how you can share, download, copy, move, everything like that. But the whole idea when you go to annotate a document, and this is really a neat, powerful tool that we've added. It probably came out 3 weeks ago now. But there's a PDF editor. So if it's a PDF and you want to edit that right on the fly, you can, add text, different font changes, things like that. There's a markup section. So if you want to zoom in or out, highlight, pencil, eraser, you can create stamps, create your own custom ones, measurements. There's a way to password protect this. There's also a way to capture signatures. And the whole idea of this is, not only, annotations and markups, but you also want to be able to track the steps, each step of the way. So the way that HQ handles it is, we call it layering, which is a fairly popular term in the industry. But all this really means is it keeps the original form intact, but then it'll kind of have version B, version C, and then it lets you know via this layering feature who made that change, when was the change made. So basically like an audit history of the document markups and annotations. So that's kind of the new big feature that we've recently added to ProjectHQ. So those are all the features here in ProjectHQ. I guess moving on to CrewHQ, since it's kind of easy just to jump right to here. So this is the scheduling tool. So this allows you to schedule your projects, assign resources. It does notify employees where they're going and what they're doing. And it's a pretty straightforward tool here. You've got a list of all of your same projects, and again, you can always limit who has access to what jobs. You can always view this differently. Like if I wanted to view this by employee or by equipment item, I can do that. And then in the other corner, there's a way to filter. There's a neat little map feature here. So if you want to see on a map where different tasks are located, you can. Assignment view, if you wanted to see basically who's available as of the calendar date, that's where that would show. Unscheduled tasks, so if you wanted to get a head start on a schedule, but you didn't know exactly when it was going to happen, that's kind of where they can be stored over to the side there. Different time frames. I've always had mine set to month, but it can really be anything. And then as far as the detail, how this actually works is you're creating a task. I hop into this one. And you can manually create your descriptions, or you can pull those from your cost codes. So either way. But you've got your task. You can always color code it, attach an icon, different dates if you need times, location, which that'll pull from the job record. But if you ever wanted to override that or drop a pin in a map, you could. Resources. So this is where you're pulling from different employees, other contacts, which would be pulling from your vendor or customer records in Foundation. Crew, so if you want to assign employees to different crews, you can do that. And then equipment, material, which would be inventory items. So yeah, being able to allocate any of those resources. And yeah, any of the employees that are assigned to a task, they will get, pinged would be a good word, via email or text when this is saved. And then on top of that, each employee would have a link that they can click that would open up a calendar view of their entire schedule, which is, I think, much easier to use, and I believe that's what most employees will use that feature instead. There's also dependencies, so you can get into predecessors and successors here. Of course, custom fields, which you can do basically anywhere. This is if you did want to copy over cost codes and make those your task descriptions, miscellaneous notes. But yeah, that's CrewHQ, so that's the scheduling tool. And then the third piece is called ExecutiveHQ. This is the reporting side. So we've got ProjectHQ, which is the document management. We've got CrewHQ, which is the scheduling, and then for reporting, we've got ExecutiveHQ. So that'll basically pull all of your job cost information from your Foundation database. And just like the other two, you can always restrict what projects people can see here. And then further down on this side, you can limit labor detail. So if you didn't want somebody to be able to drill down into employee detail, you can always hide that. But this will start with totals. And then on the bottom half of the screen, you just have a nice % complete over/under report. And you can sort and filter. Like I can click on any of these columns and it'll sort or filter by that. But then from here, if I wanted to click on a project, it then opens up a dashboard breaking down, all the different sections. It has different sections that represent different types of information on the project. So this would be a breakdown by cost class. This would be an estimate versus actual by cost code. These would be change order charts over on the right-hand side. And then there's just a nice variance report here on the bottom center. Kind of has revised estimated cost, actual cost, a variance, then original committed, what's been invoiced, remaining, and then kind of a pencil. What does the final line item pencil out to be? And yeah, anything in blue, any of the charts or graphs, I can drill into, and then it pulls into a more detailed report. But that would be ExecutiveHQ. So those are all the different moving parts and pieces. So there's three sections. There's ProjectHQ, which is document management. There is CrewHQ, which is project scheduling. And then there's ExecutiveHQ, which is project reporting, job cost reporting. And again, this is all web-based, so it's all tablets, even smartphones or computers. Office or field, it doesn't matter, and it does communicate with your Foundation database. It'll pull all of your maintenance records from Foundation. And then going back the other way would be things like AIA billings, change orders, purchase orders, subcontracts. And again, there's always a double check on the accounting side. So don't think any of those are just going to automatically update without somebody having a chance to review those. So that's everything. Hopefully you learned a little bit about what we have to offer here on the HQSuite. I'll hang around here for a couple minutes here if you guys have any questions. Or if you do want to reach out, I'd be happy to set up a time if you want to kind of walk through this with your team there, or if you're curious about pricing, feel free to reach out. Probably best is email address, just because I'm on and off the phone all the time. so it's tough to call in and get me right that second. But either way, 1-800-246-0800 is the phone. Email address is dke@foundationsoft.com. And like I said, I'll hang on here, and if anybody has any questions, I'll happily answer those. And there should be a place to type on the side there that go to webinar where you can type in your question. Here's a question. Any link with service module for documents and dailies? I guess it's tough with service. And the main reason this really isn't designed for service work, it's more for your larger contract jobs, whereas service is typically, at least how Foundation looks at service, if you have our service module, service mobile app, is more quick hitting, work orders, tickets, couple hour jobs, maybe all day, whereas the HQSuite, because of all the document management, the scheduling features, it's more large scale, week, multi-week, month, year-long, large jobs, basically bid projects that you need to track and follow up types of things. So not saying you can't, it would just probably, the HQSuite would probably be overkill for things like the service end of things. And yeah, another question here, does this work if we have Foundation on site on a server? So yeah, absolutely. And we, for those of you that might not be aware, we have Foundation is offered on our cloud, and also you can have it on your own server. So yeah, either way, this works all the same. This would just connect to a port on your server that would allow data to push and pull back and forth. And then can you edit Excel in Word documents within HQ? You can. I guess kind of the, if you're on a device that already has Excel or Word, it'll open up in that format, and then you can make the change and save it there. But if not, then you would have to use the annotation tool to pull up and then mark up what you need to on that document and go from that route. And then a question in Executive HQ, are you able to add or subtract projected costs? No, nothing like that. It's just reporting. That's where, being able to adjust those numbers, that's really where you would get into the change order features, maybe internal or estimate change orders on the Project HQ side of it. And then a question here, what happens on an AIA is revised for a change order between when a PM enters the billing and when it is pushed to Foundation? So that would be more of a workflow situation. So in that case, specifically, the PM should know that there's a change order that needs to be added to the AIA if they're the ones that are in charge of sending that billing out. So yeah, I think that would probably be more of an internal thing that would hopefully get caught, from a kind of a hierarchy, who's in charge of, certain things and reviewing things before they go out of your office type of scenario. And then a question on Crew HQ, does this allow to input materials like service tickets? Not really, no. I mean, you can say what items might be needed for a task, but it's not like you're filling out ticket information. It's really large scale project scheduling. And yeah, for Crew HQ, the whole idea is, you can, let's pull it up here. You're looking at all of your jobs, then you have tasks for all jobs. You can see where people are at. You can always up here flip and see where everybody's at and kind of hover over that and see details. So yeah, it's by job, but you're able to see everything in total. And everything from a storage standpoint, the HQSuite is all cloud-based. So most web-based systems are going to be cloud-based nowadays. So it's similar to probably anything else that's out there in regards to that. So yeah, HQ is all part of the Foundation cloud. It's again unlimited storage. We don't put any. It's not like we charge. Our fees are based on volume or anything like that. They're always based on users. We don't based on volume of data or even volume of revenue or anything like that. And information would sync immediately, assuming that the employee's device has data or Wi-Fi. So as long as they have data or Wi-Fi, information entered into Foundation would push into HQ or vice versa. You know, if you're creating a change order, that would push back into Foundation immediately. It's not like it waits till midnight or anything like that. And for email addresses, there's a question here, can you copy an HQ email address to have it added to the project? So one thing that HQ does do is it creates a job email address for every project, and that would be an HQ email address. So it does that by default, whether you use it or not. That. Now, hang on here for just a couple more minutes for any questions. Let me just pull up my information again, just in case anybody thinks of anything. Yeah, if you have questions or if you're interested in pricing, want to set up a time to kind of review this, I'd be happy to do so. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for attending. Yeah, if you need anything, feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to help. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. All right, bye-bye.